you can catch her on Hulu. She's in God's Country, which is a very good movie. It's like a real movie. You can also catch her right here at the Roxy next Wednesday for the Homegrown Comedy Showcase. Please welcome Lynn Solomon.
Give it up for the Roxy. I want to take a minute and give a special shout out to John and Sarah. Those of you who know the Missoula comedy community, we have the best one in Montana.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of the most inclusive ones. And that is largely because of these two extraordinary people. So put your hands together. Unlike John, unlike Sarah, I am Lynn Solomon. I am single. I don't have any children that I know of. And every time I tell that joke, someone goes, you know, if you had children, you would know. And I always say, well, thank you for coming to comedy night. No, but basically my motto is I don't do living things. Pets, plants, children. Now, I have never offed a child or a pet, as far as I know, but I cannot keep plants alive. So what do people do? They give me plants, right? And they're like, oh, you can't kill this one. It's a succulent. And I'm always like, hold my beer. Yeah, so I'm not actually from Missoula. John was asking who was born and raised in Missoula. I am from Helena. You can clap for that later. I am being from Helena is fine. We could never have this show in Helena because everybody would have gone to bed about 45 minutes ago. But I have lived in Missoula for 14 years this summer, which is bananas. And can we, I mean, like John and Sarah have both talked about, we love Missoula, but don't you have those moments when Missoula is just like, so Missoula? Yes. Do you know the ones I'm talking about? So strangely, a lot of the comedians in Missoula live in the same neighborhood, which I don't know if that's comforting or really troubling, but it's James is like, not me, I'm out Lola. But so it's this neighborhood, it's over here just kind of between, kind of hipster, orange, Higgins. And so this is a true story, and this happened, within the last 5 years when I lived in this neighborhood. So one night, like all good Missoulians, I have 4 part-time jobs. And one night I was coming back from one of them, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and around the corner from my house, what do we see in Missoula on the boulevard, spring, fall? Furniture. So just a couple blocks from my house, there was a brown couch, a green couch, and a yellow chair. Was it yours? The next morning, 9, 10 o'clock, whenever I was going to work, I came around the same corner. Brown couch, yellow chair are gone. That night, I come home, yellow chair is back. Right? They're like, well, I took it home with all the other furniture I found in the alley. And it just didn't work with what I was looking on. But then, this didn't happen that long ago, and I think I might have even noticed it when I was on my way to a comedy show. Over on the corner, kind of by Bernice's, there was a piece of furniture, there was a chair with a sign that said, free, and it had an empty growler sitting in it. And I thought, well, that should be like the Missoula city crest. I got honesty. We can put it on like a flag, right? So then, I don't know you guys, I can't believe it's 14 years ago, but when I was coming over and looking at apartments in Missoula, it was a trip, right? And so I would always I'd make all the phone calls and do all the emails and do all the Craigslist and all the things, and I'd be like, well, can I come and look at the apartment? And this is so bizarre. Tell me if this is your experience too. Every time I call about looking at an apartment, it always started the same way. They're like, okay, do you know where the Dairy Queen on Higgins is? And I'd be like, they're like, yeah, go to the Dairy Queen on Higgins, and then go 2 blocks north and take a left. But it was always, go to the Dairy Queen on Higgins. Even if the apartment was in like Hartley. Go to the Dairy Queen on Higgins. So speaking of the Dairy Queen on Higgins, so the Dairy Queen on Higgins, I think it's Monday night, they have pet night. You guys are nodding like, yeah. So I went there one time and I said to the girl behind the counter at the Dairy Queen on Dickens, hey, can we admit, like, those young women know what's what?
Yes.
Right. And so I went to her and I said, so, you know, what happens with pet night, you guys, is like, you bring the family and you bring the pet, and the pet gets like a free little pet snack thing. And I think maybe the kid gets a free, I don't know, but they give away like free ice cream to animals. So I said to the girl behind the counter, I was like, pet night, like, is it fun or is it kind of annoying? And sweet thing, she's like, well, I mean, some people bring weird pets. And she told me about the guy who like brought like a baggie with a goldfish in it. So he could get like a free ice cream. I was like, yeah. Okay, so folks, I am 56 years old. It's a weird age to be. I don't know that there's very many 56-year-olds in the audience tonight, but that's okay. It's a weird age to be. Those of you who are 26, trust me, you can call me in 30 years. It's a weird age to be. I always say I'm too young, to quote the great Stephen Sondheim, I am too young for the old people, and I'm too old for the young people. Right? It's a really strange place to be. My dentist is 12. Right? The older we get, the younger people of significance in our life get. My dentist, I used to call him Doogie Howser DDS. That joke does not land in Missoula, because nobody's old enough to remember Doogie Howser. And he's a great dentist. Like, I have absolute faith in his dentisting. But like, for one thing, I call him like Joe. I don't call him Dr. whatever. And I'll come in and he'll be like, hey Lynn, how's it going? And I'm always like, dude, could you be a little more dentisty? You know, one time he was going through, when I was a new patient, you know, they go through your mouth and like your teeth are numbered, and he's talking on my chart. Are you a dental person? An AmeriCorps girl? No, okay. And you know, they're doing like the numbers and what has fillings and what's missing or whatever, and he says, oh, and there's a sealant on number 22, whatever. And the assistant goes, doctor, don't you mean number 23? He's like, oh, yeah, number 23. Great. So yeah, it's a strange age to be. But I have to tell you, I'm actually very excited to be 56. And the reason is, I am finally old enough to live in one of those senior citizen apartment buildings. But then I wonder, like, do I have to wait for Agnes with the nasty cough at the end of the hallway before I get my spot? And then I wonder, well, if I get into that building, am I like the young hottie? Yeah. It could happen, John. It could happen. So the other thing about being 56, I mean, okay, like, dating when you're 56 is just really weird. And I won't do a whole lot of dating app jokes because, well, nobody needs to hear that about a 56-year-old. But when you are this age and you're communicating with a potential romantic interest, it's very different. Like, there was a guy, I met him on an app, he actually was a really nice guy. And he lived out in the Bitterroot. You could laugh at that if you like. I think he only had one wife. No. But he was a really nice guy. But he liked to talk on the phone. Like, he didn't want a message. And honestly, like, actually use his phone as a phone. And we talked on the phone for like a month before we met, which I don't recommend that. But it was so, let me just tell you, having a phone conversation with a potential romantic interest at this age is not the same as when, like, right? Like, well, what are you doing? Oh, I'm getting ready for bed. Yeah, me too. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I'm just putting in my night guard. Oh, yeah? I'm just putting on my compression socks. Yeah, I'm turning on my white noise app. Oh yeah? I'm just gonna slide into my CPAP. Yeah, we actually met, and then I never heard from him again. Yeah, Like I said, I've lived in Missoula for 14 years, and I mean, I don't mean to make light of something that's very serious, but like a lot of it is I have had to cope with. Like my rent has gone up. I mean, it is what it is, right? I have lovely landlords. I have a nice little. I live right above the river trail, which is weird. You hear people say things like, "My tube's on the shore." I don't want to know. But so my rent has gone up over the last couple of years, but it's gone up like $100 a month, which, I mean, it's not ideal. But I'm also like, okay, it's $100 a month. Like I can figure this out. What can I do? It's only $100 a month. What can I do to make up for this? You know, make up that amount of money every month. Do you guys have suggestions? What can I do? Seriously, how, just shout them out. How would I make
Sell pictures of your feet.
Sell pictures of my feet, okay. How about over here, you guys? What do you recommend I do?
Sell your plasma.
Sell my plasma.
No, sell your underwear.
Like the actual thing? Like the actual underwear?
Yeah, used panties is a thing. Yeah.
Huge market.
We will talk after the show.
Just walk like $2.
For housing too.
Well, anybody over here have another suggestion?
Just walk like 2 dogs. That's $100.
I beg your pardon?
Walk 2 dogs.
Walk 2 dogs. Didn't we cover the living thing?
I was getting beer.
He missed that part.
Okay. It doesn't end well. So here's the thing. So I love asking this question. It's fascinating to me. The first time I did it, I think I was in Billings, doing comedy in Billings. Right? Like when the spy balloon was looking over Billings, I'm like, what are they looking for? Casinos and racists? Okay. Are you from Billings? I'm so sorry.
It sucks. It's great.
We're like, actually, we're from Laurel. Okay. But I think I asked this question when I was in Billings, and I was like, what can you do to make extra $100 a month? And this woman yells out, very sincerely, sell your eggs. And I'm like, girlfriend, here's mine 56. I was like, the best buy date is in the rear view mirror. And I do, and then I get sell pictures of your feet. Like, I get that all the time. I didn't know that was a thing. Now, for the record, and when you can kind of, like, I like my feet. I mean, I think I have okay feet. But I don't want to, like, Google, how do I sell pictures of my feet? It will ruin my search history for all eternity. So, I mean, I'm going to consider the underwear thing. But prior to that, I've decided I'm going to be like a cam girl. I'm going to be like an OnlyFans person. Whoa.
Do the Alice in Wonderland one. It'll be great.
We'll talk after the show. But, so sometimes I say that, I'm like, I'm going to be a cam girl, and the audience goes like, huh. And I was like, it could happen. But here's the thing, like, I'm not going to do like the, like I'm not going to do that kind of OnlyFans. I'm going to do like middle-aged woman OnlyFans. I'm going to like make soup. I am going to full fitted sheets. And a friend of mine was like, I think maybe you should actually do that. Yeah. So I will report back on how that shakes out. So folks, to pick up on something that John already touched on, ladies and gentlemen, and I am a 56-year-old woman who lives in western Montana. Can you guess what I drive? A Subaru! Can you guess what color it is?
Green.
It's green! I drive a green Subaru. And at least once a month I try to get in somebody else's. Now my brother lives in North Idaho. He's still okay. He has a silver, this is a true story, he has a silver Subaru Outback. He actually got in somebody else's, put the key in the ignition before he realized it wasn't his silver Subaru. Yeah. So folks, I drive a green Subaru. This is a true story. My car was hit and run in downtown Missoula. Okay, it was in front of Charlie B's, but that is another conversation. So So my car was hit and run in downtown Missoula, and so I called the police department because I'm a good Girl Scout. And I called them and I was like, hey, my car was hit and run, accident report, quack, quack, quack. And the dispatcher said, what is the make and model? And I chuckled and I was like, Subaru Outback. No joke. She was like, what color? Green? And I was like, everyone's a comedian at one police class. But here's the thing, and the handful of us who are over 50 in this room, and women, and this is not unique to women, but largely, so just trust me on this. Folks, what you don't know is when you live in Western Montana and you reach a certain age, you go to this place and they give you a Subaru. Depending on your situation, they may throw in a kid, softball equipment, a yellow lab named Maggie. Now, I told that joke one night. I think it was at the Old Post. I told that joke, and there was this one table back in the corner, and they lost their minds when I told that joke. And then later on, I was walking back after my set, and I went to get a drink, and I walked past the table, and they're like, we have a yellow lab named Maggie. But then there was the time I told that joke in Bozeman. I come out, can you guess what I drive? And I swear to God, the entire audience went, a Prius? I was like, tell me you're in Bozeman. Without telling me you're in Bozeman. So you guys, 2022 was a weird year for me. I fell on the ice on Valentine's Day and broke my arm. Good answer. So no matter how bad your Valentine's Day was, mine was worse. And it was very tricky. I couldn't work out. I couldn't hold like plates or bars or machines or anything at the gym. So I started walking and hiking more, which actually was good. That was a really beneficial thing. And so we have all these great trails around Missoula. And so I would, because I live in the neighborhood with the comedians, I'd go to Orange Street. I'd go on the under the highway. Occasionally I saw a vaguely heroin addicted person under there, but I just rolled with it. And then I would go to the trailhead of the Waterworks Trail. Let's hear it for the Waterworks Trail! So one day, I am going up the trail, and and there's this guy, roughly my age, coming down, and we had a little good morning, and we did like a little, and then I went on my, I came out all the way over to the rattlesnake, I came home, and then I got home and I was like, what if he's my person? So I did what any self-respecting single middle-aged woman did. I go on Craigslist Misconnections. Y'all know what that is, right?
Oh yeah!
Is that the most batshit? Like those, it makes zero sense, right? You get out there, I want to have like a follow-up page on there. But some of them were like, you were in the turn lane on Broadway in a white Nissan, our eyes locked. I was like, what? Or the ones who were like, we had a moment next to the hummus cooler at Rose Hours. Tell me what was in my cart so I know it's you. So then I was like, well, what? So then I did that day. I got on the website and I was like, well, how would I know how he's describing me? And then I was like, tired looking. Eating a Cadbury cream egg while you hike. I didn't find him. But then there's some on the website, they're like, instead of like, describing the situation where they locked eyes or met or whatever, they're always like, you, descriptor, descriptor, descriptor. Me, descriptor, descriptor, descriptor. The ones I'm talking about? So then there'd be ones like, we met, in the parking lot next to the brewery. You, Tivas, Patagonia pullover, Subaru, me, Tivas, Patagonia pullover, Subaru. So I still haven't found my person on OnlyFans. Not OnlyFans, oh my god! Freudian! Yeah, whatever. Well, if any of you have like an uncle or a dad you want to hook me up with, talk to me after the show. So we were talking, we recently did a bunch of us got together we did a great show around Valentine's Day. And so we were sitting around, we were kind of talking about, like what's on your list? I mean, I have had, what's on your list for a romantic partner? Right? Like what, we all kind of have those lists. And I don't know, women, I mean, maybe this is true for guys, but I know women back me up here. Like you have your main list, and then there's like sub-tiers to the lists. You're like, right? Yeah. And so, but my actual main list, I mean, and like I said, I'm 56 years old. My main list has not really changed in my entire life. Like, what's on your list for what you look for in a romantic partner? Just shout it out.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, everybody. What else? What do you look for in a romantic? A job. Okay. Anybody else?
Sense of humor.
Sense of humor, good for a comedian. Yeah. Anybody else? What's on your list for a romantic partner?
Adventurous.
Adventurous. Oh, that's a good one. What was the one down here?
A van.
A van. I like specificity. What was over here? Emotional intelligence. Can we do another? So I think one of the first times I asked this question, I might have actually been in this room at the Roxy, and I was like, "What do you look for in a romantic partner?" And somebody said, "Not an overly close relationship with his mother." And I thought, that's very specific, but okay. And then I think the person on this side of the room that night was like, less than $75,000 worth of student loan debt. Also specific, but good, yeah, very good. So you guys, my list has been the same, literally my entire life. The main list, like I said, there's subcategories, but my main list has always been the same, and it was always, they gotta have their own teeth, and they can't live with their mother. Woo! Woo! But y'all, I'm 56. I am closer to 60 than I am to everything else. So the teeth thing is kind of negotiable.
Listen, if he can pay for teeth, that's fine.